On screen, she's known for her roles in Bad Sisters, Shameless, Sex Education. But off-screen, Anne-Marie Duff has spoken candidly about the difficulties that she and her family have faced trying to navigate the care system to get support for her brother, Eddie, who has early-onset Alzheimer's.
Yes, and Anne-Marie Duff joins us now. Very good morning to you. It's a significant time because it's World Alzheimer's Month.
Yep.
But Alzheimer's really needs some attention, doesn't it? Because from your experience, people do not understand it, and people with Alzheimer's in their families not given enough support.
Yeah, I'm here because I do a lot of work with the Alzheimer's Society, and they've recently conducted this extraordinary survey where they've spoken to real people, people who are either living with the disease or caring for someone with the disease or just friends and family affected by. And the statistics that they've come up with are pretty depressing. And what it does is it just reminds us that we really need to reinvent the system. We need to, because it's very overburdened, and we need a whole new approach. And I've experienced 8 years since my brother's diagnosis.
How old is your brother? How old was he when he was diagnosed?
Well, he was diagnosed 8 years ago. He's 2 years older than me. But I'd say he's been living with the disease for about 15 years.
Wow.
So I've seen a real, I have to say, the level of support and care, the decrease. I've seen the services really suffering and the lack of support just increasing. And so I do absolutely identify with the results of this extraordinary survey.
Amazing.
He was around 40, wasn't he, when he came to you and said, there's something wrong?
Yeah, I mean, that was when I started noticing things. I don't think he would have acknowledged it at that time. Really? So he was in his mid-40s when he really started noticing.
And what were the signs?
Well, there were funny wee things to begin with. First of all, he would be, and these are classic things, actually, what are you doing when you're making a cup of tea? He was doing it all in a very strange way. He would get on the wrong bus, or he would arrive at completely the wrong time for something. Then gradually, he was unable to hold down a job. Which, of course, meant he couldn't pay his rent, which then, of course, meant... And it's just a domino effect, you know. And because he was super young, there's all sorts of questions. People were thinking, is he drinking? What's going on? Is he having a breakdown? And then one day, he had a kind of panic attack, and he lived around the corner from me, and he just walked into our GP surgery and said, I need some help. I don't know where I am, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And we had an amazing GP. And as soon as that happened, then the wheels set in motion for getting his diagnosis.
That's such a... I mean, actually, it's a very positive story. My mum's had dementia for 20 years.
Yeah.
Started in her 60s. I would say for the family, we were seeing signs. We didn't quite know what they meant. But more importantly, we didn't know who to ask.
Yeah.
And lots of people, I think, have the experience of going to a GP, and the GP thinks, well, that's not my thing.
That's not my field.
And people say, well, go to social services. But in
And
social services, you think, well, why would we do that?
Yeah.
And actually, it's very hard to get that initial diagnosis that your brother got for himself.
I know. It was very fortunate. As I say, we were blessed with a brilliant GP. Because I do think also people think, oh, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, until it becomes really something. But earlier diagnoses are essential, because then you can get medication which can have some effect, and also you can get a support system set up in terms of how you can maintain a good lifestyle, and you can become part of trials potentially, and, you know, the earlier the better. Your
brother was living alone at the time.
Yeah.
And was he able to carry on living in his home? Did you manage to get support? What was the kind of the pathway of getting support for him?
So the journey was, once he'd got his diagnosis, I was informed very quickly to become power of attorney for everything, because he wasn't married. In a weird way, it was a blessing. So he wasn't left with somebody to just deal with him, because that's also, you know, health authorities are overburdened. They're very happy to say, please take care of your wife, husband, son, you know.
Of course.
So then he went into supported housing because he needed that support. He overstayed in supported housing. He was an emergency flight risk, and we did have to get the police involved for him, but we heard nothing from local authority, nothing for a very long time. And it took 2 years of him being an emergency flight risk to finally get a social worker. I have to be honest.
That meant when he was potentially going to leave in the middle of the night and nobody would know where he's gone.
All they offered was a tracker. And that's fine, but a tracker will not stop you walking in front of a lorry or walking into a dangerous scenario. So, you know...
When the tracker goes off at 3 in the morning, what do you do if...
Precisely. And, you know, but they were incredible at supported housing. They worked so hard to keep him safe. I'm so grateful to Road and Court in North London. But they did... But eventually he's now in full-time care. But I had to fight like a Herculean soldier to get my brother some care. It's really hard for people out there, and I'm not a carer. I'm not exhausted. I'm not, you know, sitting at home managing somebody with a degenerative disease and trying to get someone to listen to me. You don't have phone numbers to call, as you've just said. There's no direct line for people.
But you are articulating something which absolutely thousands of people watching will relate to, be experiencing and will be facing, even as they don't know right now, because we know it's, you know, Alzheimer's is coming for so many people. If there was one thing that you would say today you wanted changed, what would it be?
Well, we need systemic change. We just do. We're an ageing population. This is not going to go anywhere.
That's right.
Also, I think there needs to be, and Alzheimer's Society have really raised this, there needs to be some more specialised training for carers.
Right.
Professional as well as familial. But certainly professional, because a lot of carers don't realise how you should speak to someone with dementia. They might say something like, people used to say to my brother, Eddie, remember me? It's just like literally the worst thing you can say, but it comes from a good place. You need to be patient with people with dementia. It's a different approach entirely when you're caring for someone.
And does Eddie have good times? Does he sing? Does he see pictures? Is he able to kind of, you know, to be happy?
We've been fantastically blessed, actually. My brother has a great mood, because anxiety and aggression can be part of the disease, but we have been so blessed, and he's a very contented person. So although he's kind of disappearing a wee bit, he's kind of this precious bundle of joy. So I get to really love him. You know, I'm so lucky.
Thank you for coming in and speaking about your experience. And we send our love to your family and to Eddie as well.
Thanks.
It's incredibly tough.
It is, but, you know, if we can just galvanise and realise that it's going to take all of us to make a change here, that's what Alzheimer's Society is trying to do. And please, very quickly, if you're going through anything right now, Alzheimer's Society are amazing. They're on the end of the phone. You can talk to them about anything. Even if you want a big old cry, or you just want to say, my husband, I love him so much, he's driving me up the wall. How do I give him his meds? Please call them. They're so amazing. Good advice, Anne-Marie Duff. Thank you so much for joining us.
If you've been affected by any of the issues we've been discussing, you can find advice and support at itv.com/helplines.
Yeah.